President Bush addresses life after the Kyoto Protocol at today's G8 conference. The president wants to allow individual countries to form their own global warming goals. In other nations, they'd like to see some defined limits. It's an issue that Wall Street's watching very closely because the economy could take a hit if those hard limits are set. Chris Horner is the author of The Politically Incorrect Guide to Global Warming. Chris Miller is Global Warming Campaign Director for Greenpeace. And Chris, you say that the president's plan doesn't go far enough. Why is that?
That's right. The president's plan is wholly insufficient. It may have been a good idea 15 years ago, but the fact is the scientific consensus on global warming has become very clear. The scientists are also real clear about what we need to do if we're to solve it, and that's to institute hard limits on emissions. The fact is most of the rest of the G8 that's gathered in Germany have supported some very strong language, and the U.S. is not willing to support binding cuts on emissions.
Chris Horner, what happens to the economy if we do set those hard limits?
Well, clearly what happens to us is what's happening to Europe. You have CEOs like the recently retired Victoriano Munoz of Acerinox, the world's second largest stainless steel manufacturer, who says, I'm not investing here anymore because my electricity is intermittent, and when it comes I have to pay a premium with these carbon ration coupons. So I'm relocating to Carroll County, Kentucky. Or you're Tyson Krupp and you move to Alabama. So you see energy-intensive industries leaving for very good reason. This is energy rationing. My colleague mentioned 15 years ago, it's a very good benchmark. We began these talks 15 years ago. After 15 years, no one new wants to add to the rationing the original core group of essentially Europe, Canada, and Japan, promising to reduce emissions while breaking that promise. So obviously, President Bush reflects 15 years' experience. He recognizes that every country is going to say, we're going to do our own thing. Europe can make grandiose promises, and in fact, that's what these summits are all about. But if you read the past few G8 press releases, go to Glenn Eagles, for example, if they were telling the truth then, you wonder why we are where we are today. They're about promises. President Bush is focusing on the politically feasible. It was very smart.
All right, let me get Mr. Miller back in on this. Mr. Miller, if you take a look at what's been happening, do you think that if they go ahead with hard limits, that it doesn't hurt the economy, or do you think that it's just a price that's worth paying?
Absolutely not. This is America's to win. If we move towards solutions to global warming, we're going to protect the environment, we're going to lead the technological revolution towards clean and green energy, and we're going to create jobs. And I think if you look at the companies that have come together under the banner of the U.S. Climate Action Plan, you've got the CEOs of General Electric, DuPont, General Motors, ConocoPhillips, BP, Duke Energy. I just couldn't agree more with Mr. Horner. These companies do not represent the left wing of the U.S. This is the mainstream business community. They understand.
It's the world's second oldest profession, Chris. It's called rent-seeking. They're trying to make money off of governmental policy.
Mr. Horner, what's your response to that? You are talking about some major companies that have gotten behind this initiative.
Yeah, it's the world's second oldest profession, trying to make millions off of governmental policy favors from things you won't make millions off of in the marketplace.
Are you suggesting the business leaders aren't sincere in their efforts to try and get the green
I'm suggesting
they're
very sincere. When GE bought Enron's windmills, they were very sincere in picking up Enron's energy rationing scheme. When they bought some of their gas assets, they were very sincere in picking up Energy's Kyoto Zell.
What we're talking about here are market-driven policies.
DuPont's documents are available at archive.org, where internal documents where they point out that they plan to make $450 million a year off of doing nothing under this scheme. That's why you need these schemes. You don't official scarcity. Nobody wants to buy these things.
Mr. Horner knows that this is not a government handout, that what this is a market-driven program that would cap emissions and allow companies to rise to the challenge to solve it.
Allow them to? Why don't they now if they allow them to?
These companies will create jobs. If you look at the big three auto companies, they are hemorrhaging jobs. Meanwhile, the Japanese car companies that are creating more fuel-efficient automobiles are surpassing the U.S. car makers.
So Japan announced today that it's not going to meet its Kyoto promises. So American automakers can sell to these markets, and so can GE sell their windmills to everybody else.
Yeah, you guys both present a very strong argument. Thank you, gentlemen, both for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks.
Overhauling the healthcare system, one of the hot topics in last night's GOP debate. We will tell you how some of the candidates say they'll solve the nation's health crisis.